Hey everybody, welcome to Miscast Commentary. I am Joe Finley. Todd Tebow the Sailor Murray not here. He's actually at sea, and what's saddest about that is today, the release of this episode, is Todd's birthday. So, happy birthday, Todd. We miss you. We wish you were here. You're 75 years old now. Jesus, how the time flies. He's got Wolverine disease. He's been in many wars. We miss you a lot, buddy. You've been away for a few weeks now, but you guys will hear from him again next week with our next episode, and we're going to get together next week to record some stuff. So life is good. We're going to be just fine, guys. And there's quite a bit to talk about right off the top. Squid Game's a thing since last we spoke. The Korean Netflix show takes off like nobody's business. Literally every sound on TikTok right now is Squid Game. Everything is Squid Game. My son was watching like kids YouTube channel stuff, like Unspeakable and guys like that, and they were playing Squid Game related things, and my mind was absolutely blown. And this has become like a cultural phenomenon, but I haven't seen it yet. And the only reason I haven't seen it is because I have not had the time to dedicate any time towards it. But now I'm about to go into a night shift scenario, and I'm going to have a little bit of extra time on my hands. So we're going to utilize that time, and we're going to watch us some Squid Games. So I'm sure you hear us talk about it probably at the top. By the time you hear us talk about it and our reactions to it and all that, it'll be way too late, so don't even worry about it. And Netflix goes from popular to controversial with the Dave Chappelle special that just came out and his thoughts on trans people. I don't even know if those are his thoughts on trans people. I don't know if he said it because he was commenting on cancel culture and all this kind of stuff, and he saw how people reacted to J.K. Rowling, and he just was like, hey, I'm with her. He might very well think that. I don't know. Maybe. Who's to say? But I'm not defending him in any way, because doing that just to do that is probably worse than actually believing it, because at least you have a belief at that point. If you're just faking a belief, that's somehow worse to me. But Netflix to me comes off worse on this, because when a trans employee decided to speak out against it, they suspended them. And holy crap, like, the optics on that or something else. And then Ted Sarandos comes out and just full on defending Chappelle, saying, oh, artistic freedom and whatever. Well, they're not getting the point. Once again, everybody doesn't understand, because they've given it a title. They're like, this is cancel culture and everything about it is nonsense. But what they're not understanding is that it's consequence culture. It's you do something and then everybody else has a right to react to it the way that they see fit. Makes sense to me. And it's like, oh, you're all upset at me because this is cancel culture and I'm exposing cancel culture. No, you said something shitty and now people think you're shitty. Sounds simple to me. Like, that was that gonna be? I should just have a button to just keep playing that. But it's neither here nor there. I actually haven't seen the special. I just saw the clip that they were talking about specifically, and not a fan of that. Not, he's like so many other comics who I just think are, so brilliant at what they do, and then they just decide, oh, I'm gonna do this other really weird thing to get a reaction. And now we live in, just a little bit deeper of a dumpster fire, I guess. Speaking of somebody who lived in a fire, Michael Myers at the end of Halloween, the last one. Halloween Kills comes out today as this releases. Very excited for it, to check it out. I saw somebody who reviewed it, gave it a really bad review, but I mean, they're Halloween movies. They also, for the record, they ranked Halloween 3 as the third best Halloween of all the ones, and they ranked a lot of weird ones pretty high and a lot of pretty decent ones pretty low. I agreed with their 1 and 2. They had part 2 first, then part 1. Not that I necessarily agree that it's 2 then 1, but at least those 2 are the ones that are there. Take their opinion with a grain of salt, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm hoping to go see it this weekend. It's hard. You got to get people to watch. The kids. I've shown my kids the first 2 Halloween movies at their request. I wouldn't force that on them. They asked to watch both times, and now I don't think they want to watch a horror movie again for a little while, and that's okay. They're 6 and 10, So it might take a little bit of time. I mean, I was watching friggin' Italian horror movies where priests were hung from trees and all sorts of nonsense when I was a young age, and I turned out just fine. Coming up next, we've got New York Comic Con just happened, and people got a really cool surprise there. If you went to the Ghostbusters Afterlife panel, you got to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like, how friggin' mind blowing is that? First person I told about that, they're like, "Oh, that's cool, but what if they had something to do?" I'm like, "Really?" Like, guess what? I'm texting work. I'm like, guess what? Once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm in a room with Ivan Reitman and we're about to watch Ghostbusters, and that's how life is going to be right now. I've heard a lot of really good reactions to the movie thus far. I have avoided all spoilers, which is great. I'm going to continue to avoid all spoilers. I'm not at all interested in finding out an iota of what happens in this movie. So, but it's good to see that people who are like die hard, like these were the people cosplaying as Ghostbusters, were like, this is everything we've been waiting for. So that's a pretty solid stamp of approval. I'm looking forward to it. Ariana Richards, you might know as Lex from Jurassic Park, or she was also in Tremors, which I just rewatched recently. Still nailed it. She hinted in an interview that she might make an appearance in Jurassic World Dominion. Now, if you listened to our episode on Tremors, she is not a regular actress anymore. She's an artist, so that would be an interesting get. And I don't know, I'm excited for this one. I think that they gave you a little something in the last Jurassic World, but the movie itself was really just kind of disappointing. But I don't know, with everybody on board, I don't feel like so many of them would have said yes if this didn't seem at least better on paper. So I guess we'll have to see, but keeping my mind open, but I'm still excited. I don't know. Every time one comes out, I'm excited to see it, and then I either like it or I don't. What? A couple hours of my life gone, so be it. Disney Plus announced that Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2 are going to release on the same day on the November release, so that's exciting. We'll be able to get, I don't know how long the show is, if it's a half hour or an hour, but at the very least, we're going to get 2 episodes just to satiate ourselves for a little bit. I'm excited about that. I think we discussed it before. I don't really know. The rumors that members of Daredevil, the series, are going to be appearing. A lot more rumors about that world in general, kind of opening up lately. There's rumors that they're talking to John Bernthal about reprising his role as Frank Castle to come back and do another season of Punisher. Then there's talks that they're gonna reboot Punisher essentially, and he's not gonna be the guy. There's so many things. I'm willing to bet if any talks are happening that all this other nonsense is just ploys for negotiation. You know how it is. But I'd love to bring that world back. I'm not above bringing back Luke Cage and Iron Fist either, but I would most of those not Daredevil characters from the Defenders. I would love to see more Jessica Jones. I think that Kristen Ritter deserves it, and I think that that show was like just really spot on. It was such a good job. So hopefully, fingers crossed, she gets to do that, and everybody else gets to come, and then that becomes another part of the MCU just to enrich what's going on right now. It's a lot, but holy crap, I love every minute of it. Curb Your Enthusiasm coming back on the 24th of this very month. That's super exciting, and they gave us a list of people who will be appearing in this season other than the regulars themselves. You're going to see Woody Harrelson, Bill Hader, Kaylee Cuoco, Tracy Ullman, Patton Oswalt, Rob Morrow, and Albert Brooks, who's actually the brother, which I didn't know this until I was reading about it. Albert Brooks is the brother of Bob Einstein, who was recurring on Curb, and you might know him as Super Dave, which I'm super excited at work. They just started airing like old episodes of Super Dave again, and it's just brought such nostalgic joy to me. But But yeah, so I don't know if maybe he's there as some kind of tribute to him, like maybe he's going to play a relative, like one of the Funkhausers or something like that, or if he's going to do something totally different. But Albert Brooks is hilarious. Just watch any Simpsons episode he was in, which I think he's in like 7 of them or something like that, maybe even more. He's also in the movie. He's a go-to guy for just some quick, funny stuff. So that's exciting. I really love that HBO just kind of gives Larry David the run of the house when it comes to making his show. They're not rushing him. I guess they did the same thing with Game of Thrones too, but Game of Thrones was so gigantic that they had no choice but to give them whatever they wanted. But like Larry David, he's just like, okay, I'm doing this. And then like a ton of time goes by, he's like, I don't feel like doing it. And they're like, all right, well, when you feel like doing it. And it has an impact on the show. If the people who are doing it are excited to do it, it's going to be better, just period. Not like, oh crap, we got to get 20 more episodes figured out and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, and then they spit out substandard stuff. They are tired, whatever. But like everybody's enthused and good. And while I think that it can be harmful, because of these are other supporting actors and crews and all this other stuff who, depend on a regular paycheck, that can be problematic. But for the most part, at least for the cast, I mean, I can't speak to the crew and what goes on there. I mean, I'm sure they all have other jobs that come and go during these hiatuses, but the actors themselves are all off doing their own things completely, right? Obviously, Jeff Garlin's on the Goldbergs and a lot of things like that, but also worth considering. I think this is why they lean so heavily on so many guest stars or these kind of recurring people, because then they don't have to worry about having a cast of particularly like lower level supporting people who would be just kind of out on the street without the show. But that really covers the news that I wanted to get into today. So all that's really left is to tell you what movie we're doing next. And usually what we do is horror movies all October. We broke that just a little bit because of Casino Royale, because it was so relevant, because No Time to Die was just being released. So I think you could forgive us that. But damn it, we owe you some horror, so we are going to give it to you. And we're going to give you another classic that all starts with a little boy's birthday and a fairly negligent mom, and the birthday present he wanted more than anything in the world. A good guy doll, but that good guy doll went bad. And his name was Chucky. We are doing Child's Play. Have you got it now? Did you get it? Is there anybody who didn't get it before I said that we were doing Child's Play? Maybe somebody who didn't see it, I don't know. But I'm really excited. I am going to warn you, for people who watch on YouTube, we had an issue when we recorded this with the video for a portion of it. So there's going to be a portion where there's no video. I'm going to put something up. I'll figure that out. Don't you worry about it. It's not your problem. It's my problem. But if you are the type of person who likes to watch the episodes and watch us, there will be a chunk without us, and you'll get all the information within the video as to when you're going to see us and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't recommend skipping ahead. Just listen for a little while. We are a podcast, so I mean, that's how a lot of people take us in. And to the people who are going to be listening, none of this was relevant to you because you're just going to hear us. It would be weird if I said the audio is going to be really messed up and you're just going to see us for a little bit. But all that aside, let's get a listen to the trailer.
Everyone has a birthday they'll always remember.
Can we open my presents now, Mommy? A good guy! I knew it! Hi, I'm Chucky.
He's something, isn't he?
This is Andy's.
Time for bed, Andy. Good night, baby.
Good night, Aunt Maggie. Good night, Chucky.
Everyone knows most accidents happen at home.
How did that happen?
This is no accident.
Andy!
I'm Detective Mike Norris. Homicide.
Andy!
Miss Peterson's dead, Miss Barclays. She fell from your kitchen window.
Someone's moved in with the Barclay family. And so has terror.
Mommy, I know who was on the counter. Andy!
Who, Andy?
Chucky.
Nobody believes you about Chucky. He came alive in my hand.
Oh, for God's sake.
Why won't you believe me?
Because I'm sane, Mrs. Barkley. Sane and rational.
No one believes the truth. Or lives to tell it. There's nothing nice about murder. And there's nothing innocent about child's play.
All right, gang. Child's Play. Very excited for you guys to hear that episode, see some of that episode if you're on YouTube. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we got some other fun horror movies coming for the remainder of the month. And we've got some pretty fun plans going beyond that. We got to interview somebody really fun for a movie that we're doing into November, so stay tuned for that. And to anybody who hasn't done it yet, go check out my personal YouTube channel. It's called Miscast Joe, all one word. You can find me there, and I am reviewing all sorts of stuff. Actually, the headphones that I am wearing right now, I am reviewing. The audio interface that I'm using right now, I'm in the middle of reviewing as well. I literally just plugged it in for the first time. It allows me to use the microphone that we use when we record the podcast normally at my solo station. So I'm very excited about the fun gadgets I've been getting lately. I got to review the Nintendo Switch OLED and Metroid Dread. Todd hated me. Let's be real for a minute. After we recorded our Casino Royale episode, we were talking about how excited we were to go see No Time to Die. And then shortly after he left to go to sea again, I got word that I was going to be reviewing No Time to Die, and I was allowed to bring a +1. Didn't have to be somebody reviewing or anything like that. It could be whoever I wanted. And I had to break the news to Todd that I had to go and that he could have come with me, but he's not there. And his text was just fuck. He didn't finish it. He just fuck. Oh, and I said, he's like, don't be mad at me. And he's like, no, I'm not mad at you. I'm just jealous. But as long as you don't tell me that you're getting Metroid Dread for free, I think we'll be okay. Then a few days later, I get my hands on the Nintendo Switch OLED and Metroid Dread well before either one of them were released, and I got to play around with it, and I'm so friggin' bad at video games like that, and I just spent my whole time freaking out. And then I got to tell him, oh, I got to play with the OLED and I got to play Metroid Dread, but because the OLED's not mine, I don't get to keep Metroid Dread. And he's like, okay. Like it was, I think there was this kind of relief, like, okay, you're not getting this game that I'm dying for free, because I think he'd murder me. Just start writing my reviews for me. And if you're looking for my written reviews, you can go to cgmagonline.com and find them all there. So yeah, so that's what I got. Go to my YouTube page and check all that stuff out. Go to cgmagonline.com. And hey, if you like watching streams and stuff like that, you can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/miscastjoe. I am there gaming mostly. I'm going to be doing some streams upcoming where I'm just designing some graphic elements and things like that and just chatting with people. And it's been fun so far. I'm actually an affiliate. I'm monetized on there now as we work to monetize this very YouTube channel. I can't ignore us if you're listening on the podcast. We're talking about YouTube again. Oh, the visuals. But you can come support me there by dropping a follow. And hey, if you like us in general and say you've got an Amazon Prime account and you haven't used your Twitch sub that's free, you can come and drop a sub on me there. It'll actually support me and the show. It supports the equipment we buy. This camera, in fact, is one of the things that money goes towards. So by all means, do that if you're so inclined. And until next week, when we're watching Child's Play, we'll see you then. You'll hear from me and Todd. And that's all I got. Bye-bye.